Welcome to Wired In. I'm Diana Galata with Hampton City Schools. I'm very pleased today to be joined by Darrin Wills, who's our Director of Transportation. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show.
We're really glad to have you here because there is a lot of important things to talk about in the area of school transportation. But first, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and then how you became Director of Transportation. What interested you in that field?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I grew up in Newport News, graduated from Menchville, and I started off as a school bus driver for Newport News Public Schools while I attended school at Thomas Nelson Community College. And during that time, the administrator of one of the schools I was actually driving for at the Achievable Dream Incorporated offered me a position as a student liaison. And during that position, I was able to go out and do home visits for truant students. And also I was the transportation coordinator who dealt with all of the student bus stops and all of that good stuff because it was a magnet program. And then I saw the position that was open in '99 that I was fortunate and blessed to actually become the transportation specialist for Hampton City Schools in 1999. During my tenure here for 17 years, I have been promoted to the transportation coordinator, and then I have been the assistant director, and now I am in this position as a director. And I am very excited and very pleased to be here. I live in Hampton. I have a beautiful wife and two beautiful daughters, and I'm just very pleased and very happy to be in this capacity and work for this wonderful school division. I've been here for 17 years.
And we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit, because I don't know that the general public really understands, so tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis in your job. I know you handle parent phone calls, but what else do you do?
Thank you for asking that question. It's a busy, busy day. My day normally starts at 5 a.m. I'm on the phone with my dispatcher to check the coverage to make sure we have enough drivers to cover the runs on a daily basis. And then when I come in, I like to touch bases with everybody to kind of see where we are and see what situations they may have going on. And then throughout the course of the day, as you mentioned, dealing with parent issues, school-related issues. One of the things that I like to spend a lot of time with is crunching numbers, trying to consolidate routes if we can do so. And you know, working with the school administration, working with our SROs for evacuations throughout the course of the day. I touch on field trips and athletics as well. So, you know, I love the logistics of this job, and I love making sure that we're out there and we're providing the best and the most efficient transportation that we can for this division.
So tell us a little bit about our fleet, about how many buses do we have and about how many students do we transport on a daily or weekly basis?
Yes, ma'am. We have currently 208 buses that we currently have on our existing fleet. We transport roughly anywhere between 13,000 and 14,000 students per day.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So a big job, certainly.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about school bus driver training, because I know it's very involved. It's a very important job. Of course, it's our goal to transport students safely every day. And so tell us a little bit about the requirements to become a bus driver and then additional training that might be required.
Sure. Well, we have a very, very extensive transportation curriculum for the CDL license. And you have to have 24 to 32 hours of instruction, meaning classroom time where you actually sit down for 5 days. We normally have class from 8 to 4. So there's 24 to 32 hours of instruction. And then the driver or the trainee will have 24 hours of behind the wheel. During this training session, they are just working with the trainer, no students on board or anything like that. Then they will receive their CDL permit. At that time, once they receive their permit and they do the third-party testing and pass the third-party testing, then they will do 10 hours of behind the wheel with students on board before we will release them. So it is a very, very good curriculum that we're very pleased with. We just received some backing maneuver changes from DMV that we had to, you know, increase the hours to 32. hours for this training session in order to make sure that our drivers are comfortable and we're performing them and we're in compliance with DMV. And also along with the training, once they come out of that, we have our 2 in-service meetings that are mandatory by the state each year. And we have a very good training component that I'm very excited about. We also have just started a new sign language class for our special needs drivers and attendants so they can better communicate with our nonverbal students. We also have the CPI training for our more challenging kids to help them de-escalate issues and working with the special needs department to make sure our people are getting the necessary training that they need to provide the service for our kids that we transport.
That sounds great because it's one piece of being a bus driver is safely driving the bus, but the
Correct.
other piece is the fact that you're managing students
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
bus, and sometimes there are behavior issues or conflicts that arise, and so it's very important that the bus drivers not only have the CDL training, but also the training you touched upon. The other piece in safety on the buses or safety around the buses is really more than our drivers. It's the community and the drivers around the buses. And something that makes me very angry is when I see the stop arm out and cars just driving right past it. So talk to us a little bit about the laws governing other drivers around school buses.
Yes, ma'am. The Senate just passed the bill, and as of July 1, it will go into effect. Motorists passing school buses will be ticketed up to $250. We're currently working with the Hampton Police Department to identify the hot spots, if you will. And we do see that every day, and it's very, very dangerous. I always share with parents, you can't rely on motorists to do the right thing, so please educate your kids, talk to your kids about standing in a safe location at the bus stop. That's not the time to be running around playing football and all of that. I understand kids are excited and they get to the bus stop a little bit earlier than the normal pickup time, but they really need to be paying attention and cognizant of their surroundings. But as motorists out there driving on a daily basis, you know, certainly I would hope, and I'm excited about this law because it's about protecting them as well as our children that are coming out to the bus stop that we pick up on a daily basis. But that law is in effect. It has always been in effect, but now we're going to be working with the Red Flex camera system. We installed 5 cameras on our buses last year. We're still gathering some data from that of how many motorists have been running their lights. And we average anywhere between 50 up to 100 plus vehicles that we've identified in certain areas throughout the city that we see motorists passing the buses. So I say that to the parents to say, please educate your kids. Explain to your kids the importance of safety and how they should act while they're at the bus stop and know that they need to be paying attention to the motorists at hand.
And it's unfortunate that we have to put cameras in
Correct.
to help
It is.
Prevent that, but anything we can do to keep our students safe.
Correct.
So I have a really specific question about stopping around a school bus that has to do with a divided road. So say you have a four-lane road, 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the opposite way, and you have a median in the middle, and the school bus stops on the other side from where you are driving. Are you required to stop in that situation as well?
No, ma'am, you're not. The median actually separates that intersection. I always say that it's very important for parents to make sure we have accurate information. So when we set those bus stops and or if I'm sure we shouldn't have any of those cases, but if so, we should never have kids crossing 4 lanes of traffic that way. But certainly that median does separate that 4-lane intersection and motorists do not have to stop.
And it sounds like that when you are working on the routing, which I know is also a big piece of the transportation department's job, that you do look at the safety of the stops, the safety of the roadway, how large the roadway might be, and so on, so that you're trying to prevent or at least reduce the number of stops on those busy streets as well.
Absolutely, and we certainly want to make sure that we're putting the kids off on the right side. I know I certainly would, it would just probably make me cringe to see a student crossing in front of a bus going across 4 lanes of traffic. So if we see that happening, we certainly correct that immediately. But I am sitting here to say that I know we shouldn't have any of those situations. We will put that student off on the right side of the road.
Great. So before we close, I know that we're always looking for school bus drivers. So if someone was interested in coming to work for us as a school bus driver, what would you suggest that they do?
Certainly visit our website and they can, fill out the application. But we're looking for good, dependable drivers with good DMV records, because these are the people that will be transporting our future. So we certainly look at the driving record. We certainly look at the references, and we actually check, the references. Certainly if we're receiving a driver from another locality. But we're looking for great people to be a part of this education component with our school division. And certainly once they apply, then, we have to have the criminal background check, TB testing, and certainly our CDL class, which is 5 days, from 8 to 4. And during that time, that's when, the person will become licensed. And we do pay minimum wage for the class, $7.20 as a trainee in this particular CDL license class. And then once we put them through the training and they become licensed, we put them behind the wheel with students and put them on the road.
So before we close, is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, ma'am. I just thank you for the opportunity, and I'm very, very happy for the department that I am working with. Our dispatch office, the supervisors, mechanics, and SROs, and Mr. James, I always include him as a part of our family. I'm just excited to continue to build those relationships to make us even better. And we're always looking at ways that we can make this department soar in different ways, and we're going to do that, and I'm very excited about it. In the fiscal 2016 and 2017 year, we're already looking at some positive things to make it better. So I'm very excited, and I'm very excited for this opportunity.
Well, we're very excited that you're here. Thanks for coming on today and sharing a little bit about the Transportation Department. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And thank you for watching Wired In. Have a great week.